Last night I gave SmackDown a 3 out of 10 in my one take, one shot review because I thought as a go-home show, this was hot garbage. Upon reflection, I went to bed, I woke up, I'm now calmed down. Upon reflection, it was a wrong grade. I feel it should not have been a 3 out of 10. I feel it should have been lower. A 2 out of 10 maybe because, yeah, hot garbage. That's a very appropriate description of last night's SmackDown because what was that between Cody and CM Punk? Like, these are supposed to be two of the best talkers in the business. How did their segment hype me up? How did that hype me up at all for WrestleMania? I love you, CM Punk. I love you, Cody Rhodes. My dad would be so proud of you. Your dad is proud of you. Like, how does that make me want to see WrestleMania? But let's talk about that later because I'm not the only one who thought it was dog vomit. Let's talk something that was positive. One of the only things positive about last night's SmackDown was Trick Willie and his gingerbread man. We got Xavier Sanchez says, Gingerbread Man segment was actually pretty fun to watch. Little Yachty should have been revealed in the suit, though. I agree, if it would have been Little Yachty, that would have been the cherry on top. However, the head spinning was hilarious and just like, you can't plan that. That said, all in, give the keys to the kingdom to Trick Williams. That segment was phenomenal. All three in the segment was great, to be fair. Gingerbread Man 1, Gingerbread Man 2, and Trick Williams, they were all great. They knew their part. I am actually interested in Sami Zayn again. I still want Trick Williams to win, but I'm actually interested in Sami Zayn right now. And it's like, that's the star power that is Trick Williams, that he can make you emotionally invested in anybody who he's facing. Trick Williams just gets it. We need to go all in on this guy. I'm going to say something controversial that'll probably get a lot of you to hate me. But I think Pat McAfee was wrong for Randy Orton. And you're like, wait a second, Chop. We all agree. Nobody wants Pat McAfee with Randy Orton. But here's the thing. I think Pat McAfee would have actually done better with Trick Williams. And you're like, oh, hate you, unsubscribe. But don't unsubscribe because I got a belt contest. You can't win if you unsubscribe. We'll talk about that in a minute too. Let's talk about it. No matter what, we got Pat McAfee in our WWE. And here's the deal. The things that Pat is saying is actually pretty legit. Like saying that we need the Attitude Era back. We need wrestlers who hate each other. We need this, we need that. And we do need that. It's just, right message, wrong messenger. But I'll tell you what, I'm definitely more entertained by a Pat McAfee interview than I was by that mess of the main event segment of our two top champions just glazing each other back and forth. I would much rather have Pat McAfee than that. I know as a wrestling YouTuber, I'm only supposed to hate Pat McAfee, but like, last night's Go Home segment was just our two top champions talking about how good the other one is. And Pat McAfee, like, him and Randy Orton, they're a little off. It's like Randy Orton didn't need this. And Pat McAfee is talking about the Attitude Era. Trick Williams is like, he is the Attitude Era. Like, he would have fit in perfect in the Attitude Era. He reminds me of a Rock in the Nation of Domination coming up, and I really think that Pat McAfee and Trick Williams would have been a good pairing. Look at Trick Williams and Little Yachty, how they play off each other. I think Trick can just play off anybody and get the best out of them. You know who Pat is starting to remind me of? Shane McMahon. And full stop. You got to understand where I'm coming from. You might not remember this, but Shane McMahon was such a weaselly jerk in the beginning that you wanted to just sock him in his face. He would hide behind people. He would smack talk people. We're looking back from rose-colored glasses and remembering all the crazy stunts that Shane McMahon did, but like, his first year in WWE as a bad guy, like, you wanted to strangle him. But he was a good hype man. He knew how to get heat. He knew this, he knew that. And Pat McAfee is kind of, sort of reminding me of that. Is it a one-to-one? No, it isn't. And Shane McMahon did a far better job. and Pat McAfee makes it a little too much about himself. But I will say this, with some guidance, you could make Pat McAfee into a viable character and an agent of change, and you pair him up with someone like Trick Williams, you could get that to get Trick all the way into the main event this year by Survivor Series, instead of having to have this slow burn build that like someone like Braun Breaker is having to go through. Like, I am telling you, make SmackDown complete Attitude Era. Raw can be Ruthless Aggression or Bloodline Era, since Roman Reigns is about to win the title. But SmackDown could be total Attitude Era if we just gave it to Trick Williams. He was by far the most entertaining thing last night. Light years ahead of everything else on SmackDown. But I don't want you guys and gals to hear me wrong. I don't think Trick needs Pat McAfee. I just look at the roster and I think that the person that would best fit into this Pat McAfee character would be Trick at the moment. And eventually, when Trick does use Pat to climb up the card, win championships, when he turns on him, that'll just further cement Trick as a huge babyface down the line. So if we play our cards right, we can have a corporate champion in Trick Williams by Survivor Series. And if you play your cards right, you can have this title by next Saturday. At 20,000 subscribers, I said I was going to give away a belt. I'm holding that giveaway next Saturday. At 30,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away another belt. So make sure you comment, because that's how I pick a winner, and you got to be a subscriber. Comment, subscribe, you can win this belt on my shoulder. It's not a toy. It's a replica. All right, let's do some more hot takes. TTJC says, it wasn't that bad. You probably saw my review where I'm crashing out saying this SmackDown sucked. And you know what? Good. I'm glad you liked SmackDown. I don't understand the people on both sides of the fence that, like, if they hate something, everybody must hate it. No. Like, that's dumb. Just like I don't understand that if somebody loves something, that everybody must love that same thing. Again, no, it doesn't. I like actual conversation. So TTJC, I hated SmackDown. You didn't think it was that bad. Your opinion is just as valid as mine. I just have a camera. That's the only difference. Deep End says, the crowd should cheer for Cody. I don't get the hate. He is too good to be hated. Like, his last promo was emotional. Okay, so, like, you're probably going to think that I am a Cody Rhodes hater, and I'm not. I actually am booing Cody Rhodes right now because I know how good he is. I know he can do better than what he gave us last night. And same with CM Punk. Like, those two are phenomenal, honestly, but I hated what I saw last night, and I would have booed it. So it's like, they need to give Cody Rhodes actually good storylines. Knowing that Cody Rhodes is a good person doesn't help the storyline of WWE. I know that the actor who plays Homelander in The Boys is just an actor, right? But that doesn't make me love Homelander. No, I still hate Homelander. The character that Homelander is presenting makes me hate Homelander. Just like the Cody that is being presented makes me not want to cheer Cody Rhodes. Give the guy an edge. Every single time they've allowed him to just like kind of get his teeth out, then I'm like, oh yeah, this is the Cody that I like. When CM Punk released his pipe bomb 2 weeks ago, I was like, yes, this is the CM Punk that I remember that I love. But then when I see CM Punk coming out in a suit just to say how good Cody Rhodes is, and then for Cody to just say how good CM Punk is, like, that's just boo. But, you know, you're more than welcome to your opinion, and if you enjoyed it, I'm happy that you enjoyed it. I did not, though, and that is why I boo him, though, because I am not actually booing. I'm not even booing Cody Rhodes, the character. I'm booing the storylines. Yeah, okay, no, I am booing the character because the character is just saying, like, the lamest things. He's just saying the lamest things. The moment Cody can just drop the I respect you act and be the Cody that was on the indie scene, just like doing and saying what was needed to be said for the business, and not just glazing Triple H or anybody that crossed his path, then I'll start cheering for Cody Rhodes again. I still like Cody Rhodes, but his character sucks right now, to me. Because all it is some guy coming out to smile and saying how great everything is. I got my dream job. I can't say things anymore because I have kids. Like, fine. That's not what I'm interested in. Come At Meow says, this was like the old Christmas, New Year's specials where JR, King, or Cole would just do highlights of the year's show. Streams once a week says, at this point they should just change the name to Friday Night Replay. Honestly, the replays were more interesting than some of the things that were happening on the show, but I get what you're saying. And you know what's funny to me, though? I noticed in the replay of CM Punk and Roman Reigns, like they did a whole video package of the whole entire feud, with the exception of last week's promo where Roman and CM Punk are talking about how jealous they are of each other. Funny how, like, the go-home show of Raw was used to, like, talk about how jealous they are of each other, but the hype package that is supposed to get us super hyped about their matchup doesn't mention the jealousy at all. It's like, wait a second, are you telling me that just glazing each other isn't really that hype? Because why else wouldn't they just do a hype package of how jealous they are? Wrestling has to have emotion in it, but like the wrestlers who are facing each other have to have negative emotions directed at each other. Now, every once in a while, you can do the I respect you feud, but those are far and few between. I love AEW Wrestling says, I wish that WWE would have broken up New Day probably after we knew Big E wasn't returning. Actually, I love AEW Wrestling. I don't know how long you've been watching WWE, but I think it was 2023 or 24. They had the 10th year anniversary of the New Day, and they kicked out Big E. That was one of the greatest heel turns I have ever seen in my entire life, followed by one of the most disappointing heel runs I have seen in my entire life that is continuing to this day. Like, I agreed with you up until I saw that segment of Kofi and Xavier kicking out Big E. Big E's like, I broke my neck. What do you want from me? And Kofi's like, you broke your neck. So what? It was amazing. It was so, like, heartbreaking. Never seen the heel turn like that. If they would have gone all in on the New Day in that moment, then no, I would be like, we could have got so much more out of the New Day. But now they are just now they should be broken up. But like they squandered the heel turn on Big E at the 10-year anniversary, and now the New Day is just a shell of their former self. They really are. WrestleDon says, the last segment made me agree with Pat McAfee about the business passing me by because I don't know what I just watched. Yeah, it's like, I don't get how Triple H, how he thought that was a good idea. I really don't. He lived the Attitude Era. He lived the Ruthless Aggression Era. He knows what good storytelling is because he was one of the main characters. I wish Pat McAfee's message was coming from somebody else. I really wish it was coming from somebody else so more of the audience would be receptive of it. I get why Pat McAfee was the wrong messenger. I really do. Oh, man. Don't give up, though. We can't give up. We love WWE, even if it sucks right now. We gotta hope, we gotta pray that Trick Williams, Obafemi, the Tribal Chief, can bring it back to greatness. DS Wisemark says, how many times does Cody Rhodes need to bring up his father? Like, bro, stop cashing in on your father. Wait a second, who's Cody Rhodes' dad? Like, has he ever talked about it before? Bruce Ree says, turns out McAfee is right. The last segment was trash. You know what's crazy? Like, more and more people are starting to, like, say, yeah, Pat McAfee was right. That's interesting. Plus, no Danhausen. Actually, Danhausen was on this show. It was like a 1-minute segment that was actually part of a social media segment. They just aired the highlights of it, and I don't know why. Miz renewed his wedding vows with his wife Maurice, and Kit Wilson was like the preacher or something, and Danhausen showed up. It's like, this should have been on SmackDown. They should have been making a big deal of this. I don't know why this was a social media exclusive clip. To get people on our social medias, people are going to go to social media regardless. It's Hop says, I would rather get slowly eaten alive by a swarm of fire ants than watch another Cody and Punk promo. What was that garbage? How do you really feel? Tracy Wood says Gingerbread Man versus Sami next week. Oh my God, that'd be like Undertaker versus Undertaker at SummerSlam. How would we tell them apart? Mr. Pete says this should be the one and only time we ever see Jade and Rhea. They just don't have any type of chemistry together. No, they do not. They do not. I agree with you 100%. El Fishy says, it's time to leave Joe Hendry in 2025. He's such a jobber. Okay, so I do agree that the Joe Hendry fad probably hit its peak in 2025, but I don't think it's completely over. It's all about how we write the guy. And I do think that at one point, seeing Danhausen, we might have thought, oh my gosh, Danhausen, the Danhausen fad, leave that in 2021-22 when it had peaked. I mean, Danhausen was coming off a failed AEW run even. But against all odds, he is connecting really good with the crowd. So, Joe Hendry might have peaked in 2025. I don't think it's over. I think the next 6 months, though, will be very telling and important, and they do need to have a plan for Joe Hendry. Otherwise, he will be a jobber. Just Call Me D says, I know it's completely different circumstances, but Jake's realness about his life experiences reminds me of Eddie. Yeah, I could see that. Eddie Guerrero, he had some demons, and he was not afraid to talk about them on air. So, yeah, I could see that. Roman Reigns acknowledged me, says more Kiana, as in Kiana James. You know what's crazy? I thought about this. What's crazy about Jordynne Grace versus Tiffany Stratton and Julia and Kiana James sitting on the outside is this really highlights what's wrong with like WWE booking right now. First off, this was the go-home show to WrestleMania. And first off, this matchup had nothing to do with WrestleMania whatsoever. Okay, second off, Tiffany Stratton last year was fighting Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair, one of the best to ever wrestle at WrestleMania, right? She beats Charlotte Flair. And now look at where she is. She cannot even be on the card to WrestleMania. So that shows me an entire year they had to make Tiffany even bigger off of her win with Charlotte. Nothing. They did nothing with it. Okay, so now look at Jordynne Grace, the first wrestler to, I'm stealing a phrase from Tony Khan in AEW, to cross over to the Forbidden Door, enter into the WWE Royal Rumble as a TNA star. They poach her, they get her through NXT, and now she's on SmackDown, and she just jobs out left and right. And then she loses again tonight. So, okay. And then Julia, the U.S. champion, never has defended. That title has never been defended on a proper PLE at all, ever. All she's done is regulated to sitting on the outside, not even on commentary, sitting on the outside watching. She doesn't get involved in the match, nothing. All they do is watch. So when Tiffany wins, Tiffany can say, I'm coming for you. That's the thing. And then Kiana James. Here's a rookie, right? Complete rookie who had a very good showing. She had an awesome, amazing showing in the Royal Rumble. She's used to beat Charlotte Flair. She pins Charlotte Flair to get into the Elimination Chamber. So it's like, oh, we're pushing this rookie, right? And now what is she? She's sitting alongside Julia as her manager still, not saying anything. She's the mouthpiece. Why not put her on the headset? She just sits there next to Julia. All four of these women, and this matchup itself was just a clear demonstration of what the heck are we doing? Where's this push? And furthermore, on Julia's case, here was somebody who came from NXT with a lot of buzz and has just like nothing. All four of these women, I don't understand. And I guess that's the build to WrestleMania, people. All right, those are your hot takes. We'll see you tonight. You know, for all of my crashing out and just being the negative IWC, I'm still pumped for WrestleMania. It'll probably still be a good show, and regardless, I'm gonna watch. Dog vomit segment, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes aside, it doesn't it matters, but I'm still going to watch. All right, boys. All right, girls. See you tonight. Bye.